WWE have reportedly re-signed a Ruthless Aggression-era wrestler, a top SmackDown star is returning tonight, and AEW have hired a former Impact talent for a backstage role. Stay tuned to find out who in the news. So we are kicking things off in this second news video as WWE have reportedly re-signed a Ruthless Aggression-era superstar. This one's an exciting one, I think.
I'm buzzing about this.
Me too, I'm really excited. We are talking about Carlito. This comes from Dave Meltzer. He reported on the Wrestling Observer Radio that Carlito was scheduled to perform for Great North Wrestling on July 15th, but he has since called up Devon and told him that he can't work the show as he has signed with WWE.
Devon's the promoter, by the way. Hannibal is the guy. Dave Meltzer said, the only thing I know that is that he had an independent show on July 15th for Devon Nicholson in Canada, called him out to cancel, said he signed with WWE, so perhaps he is signed with WWE. Wouldn't surprise me because he got that big pop in Puerto Rico. There's been a lot of speculation about Carlito. People have been calling for it for quite a while, actually. Even before Puerto Rico, because you see his independent work and he can still go. He looks amazing. He's not really aged a day. He's got a bit more hench as well.
He looks
looking
great.
fantastic. That pop in Puerto Rico was huge, but there's an obvious reason why he got that pop, because it was in Puerto Rico. But at the same time, there's a lot of nostalgia there, and like Carlito's great. People really like him. He's awesome. He's a great character as well.
He's such a good character. We had that appearance in the Royal Rumble as well over lockdown.
We couldn't get a pop.
And then he came back on the Raw afterwards as well, didn't he? He was on the Raw after the Royal Rumble too.
All Thunderdome era stuff though, wasn't it?
Thunderdome era stuff. So that kind of sucks. But even then, there was lots of people buzzing online about, I hope he stays. He looks great. He's in fantastic shape. I'd love to see another run in WWE for Carlito. And I think the sentiment rings true for a lot of people too. Like I'd love to see him back in WWE.
I think there's a lot that you can do with him, isn't there? There's he can put on a great match. If you brought him back, I'd be up for one more like mid-card title reign for Carlito, and then drop it to somebody younger than him.
I think that's a good shout.
He is? Early 40s now?
In his 40s, right?
Very late 30s, early 40s. I reckon early 40s.
It's weird, because to me, he looks almost younger than what he did back then, because he's in incredible shape. He looks fantastic. So but we're sticking with WWE and also SmackDown tonight, as we have a top SmackDown star returning this fine evening. So during the first night of the 2023 draft, former WWE champion Bobby Lashley made significant waves as he was chosen by SmackDown in the third round. That's a big old top place up there.
It's a good place for him. And then we've barely seen him since. He's wrestled 2 matches, both on the same show. He did the triple threat, and then he was in the semi-finals against AJ. Alan beat him.
Alan did beat him.
And we've not seen Bobby Lashley since.
We haven't, no. According to Fightful Select, local advertisements for June 15th episode, which is today, indicate that Lashley's month-long break from wrestling has come to an end. I'm excited to see him back.
Yeah, looking forward to it. There's been a lot of talk about a potential Hurt Business reunion, obviously. Shelton, Cedric, and MVP, I guess, through Omos are all free agents, aren't they? They're not actually tied to a brand. And I think it's interesting that they did that, probably knowing that Bobby Lashley was going to disappear for a while. I think that was maybe to buy them a bit more time to figure out exactly what's going on there.
Oh, that's a great shout.
I'd love to see the Hurt Business back together. I think there's heaps of untapped potential with that stable. And it was really good value the first time around. But to me, they should have been going as long as the Bloodline. I think they should have been a unit. And maybe you lose one or two of them at some points and new people come in and you can change things up and everything. But there's heaps that they can do with that faction.
And also like factions seem to play a big part of WWE at the moment as well. The Judgment Day, LWO, the OC.
You're totally right.
Bloodline.
Now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Gang rules all over again. Bring back DOA.
Yeah.
Los Boricuas, bring them all back.
Do you remember that where they used to just fight in, I can't remember, there was a warehouse and they were all just fighting in a warehouse and stuff.
In the what, on the Raw intro?
It was, no, not on the Raw, like an old gang warfare stuff in WWE. I can't remember who it was.
I loved it when I was growing up. You watch it back now and it's like, oh, the matches are all crap, weren't they?
Yeah.
They weren't actually that good. But when you're watching it growing up, it's just cool to see that many bodies doing things. Like when it was just super, super unpredictable. And like I think it was pretty hot. That whole storyline, maybe it wasn't. If I were to watch it back now, maybe it wasn't as hot as I remember it being. But I was really invested in it. I didn't care that the wrestling wasn't that good. I just wanted to see people have a scrap.
Yeah, I guess that. And for the kids that watch as well, they'll be probably buzzing for it as well. Like we were back then when we saw stuff like that.
And it'll be better this time around because you've got really good wrestlers.
Yeah, they're very, very talented people. Included in these factions, which is lovely to see. We're sticking with WWE, and we're gonna speak about Gunther potentially or not potentially adding a new member to Imperium.
Yeah, so this comes off the back of various reports that they're thinking about putting Ilya Dragunov in with Imperium, and. At the beginning, I was really, really pro the idea, and obviously there's history there with Gunther as well. But Gunther, not so keen. He was chatting away with Steve Fall on 10 counts, and he's very much opposed to adding a new member, saying, no, I think it's perfect how it is. I'm a big believer in never change a running system. I think too much in and out can water a group down a little bit. We're all together for a reason. Nothing's random. We are all tightly connected in our private lives too, especially with Kaiser. Our careers went the same way, and since we started, there's a history of that group a long time before WWE, so it's something that was just authentically there. And as of right now, I feel like it's good as it is. And I think, you know what, that's fair.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Don't get me wrong, Ilya would be a really good fit in the group. Like he would slot quite naturally in there. But if they're happy doing it the way that they're doing it, then I think maybe just crack on with it.
Yeah, I think Ilya would be a great shout, but at the same time, I like Ilya as a competitor for Gunther. I like them facing off rather than being on a team, because they put on great matches as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And if they did that, managed to pull that off on the main roster, I'd be all for that.
If they added Ilya, I don't think he would be in the group for too long before there was a turn somewhere, and then we get the match anyway. So maybe it is best just to keep him through. You don't need to add him if it's just going to be such a short term thing.
I guess maybe if Gunther guns for the world title, then you could have Gunther with the world title, Kaiser and Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci for the tag team titles, and then maybe Ilya in a mid card position.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it doesn't need it, it doesn't need it.
I feel like when the time comes, Ilya should probably be the guy to beat Gunther.
I think so as well.
I think that's the sensible shot, and there's obviously a nice juxtaposition between that.
With that as well.
It's all happened before.
Yes, it's all happened before. Well,
you watched NXT UK.
I loved NXT UK. It still makes me cry that it's gone to this day. Anyway, we are moving over to the other side of the old fence. We're moving on over to AEW territory at this point. So PW Insider has reported that Kevin Matthews was backstage at the June 14th taping of Dynamite in Washington, D.C., and he's been hired to work behind the scenes in the promotion. His exact role, though, is currently unknown.
Yeah, so he's a former Impact guy. You'll probably be familiar with the photo. To be honest, the name didn't ring a bell.
Strike bells?
No, I knew him as KM.
Yes.
KM in Impact, and he was really, really good in everything. It looks like he's going to be a producer. They're trying to bolster the ranks at the moment. Obviously, they've got AEW Collision on the go. They've got all these shows that they're doing, so they're looking for more people to do it. I don't know a great deal about the guy. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm familiar with his work in Impact. I remember thinking, he's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he was on Dark and Dark Elevation a few times too, and he was part of the stable American Top Team as well. For a little while, he was in there.
Of course he was!
Very briefly, yeah.
Course I totally forgot about that. Yes, he was. He runs his own promotion as well. He's a promoter of WrestlePro in New Jersey and Alaska
very
as
nice.
well.
I like that AEW, as I was saying on the news yesterday with Tom, I like that AEW are really, as you were saying too, bolstering their their producers and all the people backstage. They're getting people who have a really good knowledge for wrestling. Obviously, it's always a good thing to do when you've got all these big shows happening. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on. And finally, we're stepping through the portal, we're jumping in, and it's a bloody hellscape here at Impact Wrestling, Adam, as we've seen a huge gymongous,
that's a word.
Gymongous heel turn. What's happened?
We have on last night's Impact, Nick Aldis turning heel. He clobbered new Impact World Champion Alex Shelley with Alex's own belt. He's only just bloody one off Steve Macklin, would you believe?
What wouldn't?
He clobbered him with the belt. Big heel turn. return, and it looks like that is going to be Alex Shelley's first feud as world champion.
Wow.
I really like Nick Aldis. I think he's somebody that sort of divides opinion, because you see people going, oh yeah, there's not much to him, like he can be a bit white bread.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not enough there. But then on the other side of the fence, like, he's super, super consistent. He's got this sort of old school feel about him. He brought so much legitimacy to the NWA World's title, which of course that legitimacy has only continued with Tyrus's reign. And he did amazing work there. And he also did amazing work back in the day as Magnus for TNA/Impact as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he's really good. And, you know, like, Alex Shelley is going to gain even more legitimacy if he were to beat Nick Aldis. But I'd be up for Nick Aldis. I'd be up for him having the title, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
He really elevated NWA, and I feel like he can do the same with Impact.
I agree. I think he's a great heel, and if he did end up beating Shelley for the belt, then I wouldn't be opposed to it. I know, you know, like, I think Alex Shelley absolutely deserves a fantastic run with the title, but at the same time, maybe you take it off him, and then you have like the chase again to him finally like foiling Nick Aldis's title reign.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Me too. Well, that's it for your second news video. Thank you so very much for joining us today. You can hop on over backwards in time to watch the first news video all about C. Montgomery Punk and the things that have been doing this.
It's all kicking off again. Oh, and it might kick off tomorrow night, AEW Collision.
Yes.
Doing live reactions, myself and Fraser.
Ooh-wee.
You can set a reminder right now, youtube.com/cultaholic/live.
Lovely. Well, until the next one, and I'm sure there will be a next one, it's been our pleasure, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.